Teches Bov Metzia Daf Zayin Amud Beis in the bottom of the page. Yeah, the penultimate line, the second to last line of the. That's a big Gemara. The kafron. I actually would not like to review yesterday because this year, the beginning of the sugya is actually like an independent unit from what we said yesterday. Then it will go back to what we did yesterday. Says the Gemara, the kafron. Kafron usually means a person, like we say, koifer is a heretic. Kafron usually means a person who denies and was caught lying. And we mentioned him before as an attempt to enter Rabbi Yochanan. Says the Gemara, the kafron, since the issue of kafron really means, according to most Rishonim, a person was caught lying. He was caught red-handed, meaning he's denying Eidim. If I say I didn't borrow, and Eidim said yes, you did, on that time, that's it. You're burnt. You're a lost case. You're out of the game because two Eidim against one person is nothing. You're completely lost. What? In Beis Din or even outside Beis Din, there are other Eidim that testify that he lied. I'm saying, yeah, you're dead meat. Excuse me for the expression. The kafran, since kafran came to our hands, which means since we discussed kafran, name a bay milsa. Let us say another milsa, another statement, another teaching regarding a kafran. What is the other teaching? By the way, this Gemara at the beginning, most of today's shir, level of hardship is easier than the previous sugyas. In my humble opinion, it's easier, and then we're going back to normal. Rav Yosef bar Manyumi, Omar Rav Nachman. Rav Yosef bar Manyumi quotes Rav Nachman is saying like this: let's say there was a court case, there was a Beis Din case, and they told the guy, the one who is the accused, they told him, Se ten loy. Let's say they told him, Se ten loy, go and give him, which means Beis Din came to the stage. Not only they decided they should give him, they told him practically in no uncertain terms, you have to go and give him the money. We're holding at the stage that you're commanded by Beis Din to give the money to the person who claims money from you. For whichever reason, either because you borrowed or you stole or you, whatever it is, you owe him money. The Omar Parati, which means later on, a few days later, listen to the story according to Rashi. It's big machlokes Rashi and other Rishonim. I'm following Rashi here. Good boy. Says Rashi, I'll retell you the story. It's now Thursday, let's say, okay? And I approach my friend and I tell him, Mr. Not so friendly friend, I had a court case against you, and on Sunday, Beis Din told you to pay me. Where is the money? Where is the beef? And he says, what? Parati, I already paid it on Tuesday. I paid it at some point between now and the previous court case, which was on Sunday. Naaman, he's believed that he did pay. He's believed to say that he paid with Shvuas Heses. What does it mean Shvuas Heses? Rashi says, you can see Rashi Shvuas Heses, which means as follows. Usually, when I come to my friend and say, you owe me money, and he says, I don't owe you money, yeah, either I paid or I never owed, although midoraisa, he doesn't have to take any shvua, midorabonon, he has to take shvua called shvuas heses. Shvuas heses means the shvua dorabonon, established by Meroim, because unfortunately some people, they do have the guts, the audacity to lie to the Baal Choiv, to the Malve. So Chazal established a shvua also for somebody who just says, no, I didn't, take a shvua. Just take a shvua just in case, like a corona kind of test, just take the shvua just in case you're lying kind of thing. Now, this guy over here says, I paid. So then if he does the regular, I would call it the routine shvua, a shvua says he's believed. Now, you may ask, what's the chiddush? You'll see the opposite case, and then everything will be clear. Excuse me. And we continue this case. We continue. Ba malve lichtoiv. Let's say the malve, who claimed that he wasn't yet paid, he wants to write. What does he want to write? An adrachta. What's adrachta? He wants to write a document saying, I am allowed to go into the fields of my friend and charge and basically take hold of the fields. No, we don't write and we don't give him such a thing. Why? Obviously, because we believe that the person paid. Once the person, the loive, was commanded, was mamish ordered by Beis Din's clear order to pay, then we believe him that he paid, as long as he takes the regular routine shvuas heses. As opposed to what? What's the chiddush? Now see the opposite case. Let's say on Sunday, what Beis Din didn't say go give him, they said you have to give him. It's not exactly the same. Loy means that we, scholastically speaking, so not theoretically, but we came to the decision that he must pay. But we didn't order him. We didn't send him a red letter. We didn't shout at him. We didn't send him the police. We didn't say, you have to give him. You go out now and give him right away. We only said that the psak din in the books, in the writing, is you have to give. You lost the case. So it's a little bit softer and a little bit less, it's a little bit less definitive. It's a bit less decisive, those kinds of words. And therefore, we believe that since this guy, up until now, dragged him through the courts, the loive, there was a whole court case. So we don't believe him that he really paid, because unless he was said, you have to pay, and we are going to send the police. I'm not really the police. I'm saying if you really said you are now going to go and pay, as long as they didn't say it in a very stark, clear, definitive way, the Omar Porati. And now it's Thursday again. And he said, I gave you already the money. Eino ne'eman, he's not believed, not even b'shvua. We don't make him take the shvua, which means since the person dragged the other one through the courts, the loive, and they fought, and they had Eidim, and they had Toin Rabboni, had this and that. Now the loive says, what? Well, Beis Din told me to pay. So of course I paid already. I paid you on Tuesday. I paid you 2 days after the court case. He's not believed to say that. Why not? Because you fought with your plaintiff the whole time. As long as Beis Din did not really twist your arm, you're not believed to be all of a sudden change your skin and be so cooperative and so cute and so nice, and therefore you're not believed. So what are we going to do? Says Rashi, what do you do with the guy who's not believed? I don't believe you. Not even the shvua. Don't waste your time. Be nishba to me that you paid, because you're on the wrong side of the game, mister. You fought with me all the time. Just because Beis Din said that in theory you're chav, you already paid? No. Don't tell me stories. And now what happens when we say don't tell me stories and don't be nishba? When a person cannot be nishba because he's not relied or because of whatever, then we do hipuch shvua. That's a concept we saw before. It's a concept in shvuas. It means the other side, meaning the tovea, the plaintiff will do a reverse shvua. He will be nishba and he'll take the money from the loive. I just want you to understand, midoraisa, the only 3 shvuas doraisa. Shma, shoimri, moide b'mixas, and edechod. All shvuas doraisa are in order to keep the money by you. All shvuas are an attack on the person who owes the money, who's claimed to owe the money, to be owing money. And the shvua means if you're nishba, we'll believe you that you're not guilty and will stay in your hands. Hipuch shvua is a Darabanan invention, so to speak, that if the person cannot be nishba, the other side, the toiveya, the plaintiff, will take it from him through shvua. Continues the memra. Bo malve lichtoiv. Let's say now the malve wants to write in a drachta because Mr. Loive claimed, of course I paid. And we say, no, you didn't pay, and I'm nishba, and I'm taking the money from you, and you keep refusing. Now, what do I do if you refuse to give me cash? I go for your land. I go for your nice house in Ranana. I go for your house nice in Tisaria, and Beis Din absolutely behind me. The star adrachta that allows him to take the assets of the other guy, of the owing party. Then we write him and we give him the adrachta, because the loivi here is on the wrong side of the stick. Rav Zvid mishmei Rav Nachman Omar. That was who b'shem Rav Nachman. Rav Yosef bar Yomi quoting Rav Nachman. Here comes the machloikes. Rav Zvid quotes Rav Nachman differently, and he says, Omar, ben said ten loy, ben chayav atalitan loy. Whether Beis Din said go out now and give him, or Beis Din were softer and less definitive, and they said you have to give him. In both cases, the Omar Parati Neman. According to Rav Zvid, in both cases, since Beis Din's decision, even when they said that's decisive enough. That's clear enough. That's terminating enough. Yeah. parati, and he's believed to say parati. I was forced by Beis Din. However, I just want to explain something. I don't know if I explained it well enough. These are stages. When I say softer and harder, there's not two options. Beis Din first say chayv atalitan loy, right? And then they say tzeten loy. You understand? In other words, Beis Din debate between themselves. What is it chayv, not chayv, chayv, not chayv? The three dayanim have a long debate, and then they come to the maskana that the Beis Din decided in the books chayev, the guy owes, and later they say tzeten loy. They use the decision in a more in an imperative way, and they say you're going to go out now and give him the money. Now comes Rav Zvid and says, I believe that both tzeten loy and chayev atalitan loy, in both cases, the nitba, the accused, is believed to say that after Beis Din, any time between now and Beis Din case, I already gave the money. However, so what is the difference? What is the difference? We're daf Yud Zayin Amud Aleph Bava Metzia. Yud Zayin Amud Aleph, about the 5th or 6th line from the top of the page. What is the difference between tzeten loy and chayv atalitan loy? Listen to this. Yeah, sorry, excuse me, I keep confusing. If the Malve wants to write what? That adrachta, we don't allow him to write the adrachta because we believe him that he paid. I'm sorry, that's still from the previous case. Whether it's tzeten loy or chayv atalitan loy, we believe that the accused was scared enough into doing it. Nobody wants to, mess up with the law that much. And therefore, we believe that accused guy, as fishy and funny as he was, we believe he already paid. Ella, if you want to make a difference, if you want to differentiate between chayv atalitan loy and tzeten loy, you want to differentiate between the different stages of Beis Din, like the 90% stage or the 100% stage, this would be a good way to differentiate between them. What's the difference? Amur loy tzeten loy. Let's say amur loy tzeten loy. The Beis Din said tzeten loy, go and give him. They were absolutely 100% decisive. They got to the very, very, very end of the process. Beis Din said, we're not theorizing here. We're not having a nice shir daf yomi here with a teacup. We are telling you, mister, not only you're chayev, tzeten loy, go give him the money now or else. They got to that very final stage. The Amar Horati, and he claims, later on, he claims and he says, Horati, of course, again, we are now on Thursday. Beis Din case was on Sunday, because Beis Din don't only sit Monday and Thursday, right? They sit every day. On Sunday, there was a court case, okay? And he says, Horati, of course, I was Porea. Yeah, I was Porea. I gave the money on Tuesday, absolutely. Yeah, I know. What are you shouting at me? I was a very bad boy. I'm so sorry. On Sunday, the Beis Din were so strict with me, and they told me, of course, I got scared. And later on, I didn't have cash on me in Beis Din. You think I'm crazy? I went home to the computer, made the transfer. Why don't you see the transfer? Because your bank is slow. But I gave you the money on Tuesday, and now Thursday, I already gave you. What do you want from my life? Says Mr. Loive. This is Rashi. Other Rishonim argue, but this is Rashi's story, and it's easy for me. Now the Eidim say that he did not pay. What does that mean? You have to see Rashi inside. This Rashi is very controversial. I highly recommend we look at Rashi together. Which means Eidim say he's lying, he did not pay. Look at Rashi in the narrow lines. It's the sort of like the third narrow line. Yeah. In other words, we were in Beis Din, say the Eidim, and he, who's he? Mr. Tovea, the plaintiff came and he said, I want my money. And he did not pay. We saw that on Sunday at least he didn't pay. Oh, he was very audacious. On Sunday, this is a different story to before. Please pay attention. We were there on Sunday, and when Beis Din said tzeten loy, he stuck out his tongue. Not exactly. He says, no, I'm not paying. No. You guys all, these ultra-Orthodox, I'm not paying. No, I'm not paying. I'm not demonstrating it, whatever. I had some views online. I'm scared. Yeah. So basically, we saw that he outright refused. And what does Rashi say? He was audacious, he was chutzpah. He was chutzpah. Einu neman shuv loyma prativ shelo be'edim. Back to a Tuesday story. Since you're so audacious and you mamish refused the very clear psak of Beis Din who said, go pay. Yeah, there's no other way anymore. It's the end of the tether, the end of the story. And he says, no, I'm not paying. Therefore, you can't say that you all of a sudden change your skin. What are you claiming now? That after that very dramatic court case, yeah, we need a camera there. Then on Tuesday, you pay 2 days later, you're not believed. You're so mechutzaf, yeah. So you're not believed to change your skin, and without any edim seeing you paying, you say, yeah, of course, between us, I paid you afterwards. You'll need to answer. You have a lot to answer to, and you're not believed, not even with a shvua. What shall we do? The other side, the tovea, will take the shvua and retrieve the money. That's the case of what? Of tzeten loy. Yeah, I'm reading again. Line starts with parati. The Edim said that he was not pera on Sunday. He claims that was pera on Tuesday. The Edim said on Sunday, when the very loud, dramatic court case took place, he mamish refused to pay, and he refused Beis Din, who told him loy. That's like mid-air collision here. For that money, he's never believed anymore to say that he paid. Not even with shvua. You lost your case, you're burnt. You're a dead duck, you're dead meat. However, as opposed to let's say Beis Din were almost there, but not as decisive. Beis Din on Sunday got to the stage of saying, you have to pay him, not go out to pay him now. You're the chayiv one. In the books, in the protocol of Beis Din, you're written as someone who lost your case and you have to pay. The Amal Porati, now it's Thursday, and he claims, yeah, I paid you on Tuesday, sometime between the court case of Sunday and now, after the court case was over and they concluded chayiv, they were a bit softer and up anywhere between then and now, I already paid you between us. The Edim say, no, on Sunday, you refused Beis Din. On Sunday, he was also mechutzaf, yeah, but not as mechutzaf. What did Beis Din say then? They said chayiv. They didn't say you have to do it right now. Conceptually, you're chayiv. And then he said, and what? And the Edim testified that at that point he said, no, I'm not paying. Yeah. And then the Chozav Parati, later on he says, I paid on Tuesday. On Sunday I was a bad boy. I'm so sorry. It's Elul, oi. On Sunday I was against Beis Din. Now on Tuesday I paid you. In that case, he's believed with a shvua and is not considered to be a kafran, a liar, or mechutzaf regarding this moment. He's believed to say with a shvua that he paid on Tuesday. What's the difference? My time, what's the difference? As we saw this concept many times, and it's so true, obviously, in human psychology, many times people don't completely lie. What do? Or completely mechutzaf, they want to be mishtamet. They want to evade, avoid, dodge out. In other words, because Beis Din were not yet 100% decisive, they didn't yet give their very final psak. So he's still trying to buy time and try his luck. Sovar, he thinks, Adem, Ainu bi Rabbanon bedini. Rabbanon did not yet finish. They called for another hearing next week. In other words, when they say chayav atalitin law, it's 90% there. You know your battery is 90% and get excited. That's when they say chayav atalitin law. The reason why I said I'm not paying, he says, why should I pay? It's not over till it's over. Why should I pay now? Maybe Beis Din will rethink their psak, because as long as they didn't say tzeten loy, they're only 95% there. So why should I be a tipish? No, I'm buying time, and rightfully so. Yeah, I'm not saying he's a good guy, but Lamaisa, it makes sense. It's not stam, audacious, and chakran. What is he? He's a person buying time. And therefore, if he says that on Tuesday he did pay, it's not such a change of mind. It's not such a change of his skin. And therefore, he's believed to say that after the court case he paid, of course, with the Shvuas Esses. That's one of the classical cases we'll see a Shvuas Esses helps, right? Very good case, because Shvuas Esses means even though you said you paid, we still have our questions. So the Shvu is always a nice, friendly, not so friendly thing to impose on the Nitba. Yes. It's fine. Continue. Yeah, done with commercials. Continue. Okay, here comes another question. I'm in a good mood. Go ahead. Omar Abba Bar Bar Chana Omar B'Yochanan. Moneli beyodcho. Moneli beyodcho means I have my money in your hands, which means I lent you money. I looked up Shulchan Aruch actually here. Shulchan Aruch here is one of very, very good commentary. Moneli beyodcho, I lent you money. The other party says, the accused says, En lecha beyodi klum, which means you have nothing by me, which means I never borrowed from you. You said I borrowed from you $1,000. No, I never borrowed $1,000 from you. The edim are made that he's a blatant liar. They say, no, we saw that there was a halva. We know for sure that he borrowed. Then, okay. The Chazal ve'omar porati. Now he's changing his version. Since he's facing the Edim, so Mr. Liar now says, no, yeah, they're right. Actually, yeah. I borrowed, but I paid already. Yeah, so who's the kafran? For this money is the kafran. Yeah, in other words, since he was facing Edim and he proves himself to be wrong, in this case, it's not Beis Din. Stam. The Pashut lies against Edim. He's kafran for this money, which means regarding other monies, he's not a complete liar. He's not posel edus. He's not posel shvua. A person who lied once against Edim, apparently, is not mamish considered to be a liar, gomor, and he's never believed in Beis Din. Because also, we could say, remember, as much as he's a liar, could be that he's buying time. What's a milveh? I just want to remind you that this guy does have some merit, and the Gemara has a chiddush over here. What's a milveh for? To use. Milveh lo nitna. Milveh is not a deposit. He borrowed money not to have it in his window pane. He borrowed it to pay for chasana. He borrowed it to pay for food, for Yom Tov, right? And now maybe he says no, and he's playing games because he's so stressed because he just didn't yet get his salary, or didn't borrow from the other gemach, or didn't go to the tzedakah fund, or didn't get his promotion. No, absolutely not okay to lie. I like what you're saying, even though you didn't put up your hand that you're right. It's not okay to lie, and be'etzem what he's doing is wrong. However, he doesn't have the stempel of a complete liar regarding all other purposes, intentions, which means, let's say, next week, if there's a chasana, he's believed to be an aid of the chasana. Or let's say there's somebody who killed someone, he's allowed to be an aid. Kafar le'oisa moment. However, regarding this money, he lost he's a dead meat. He's out of the game. For this money, he's not believed anymore. Because he played games with this money and he was proved to be a liar regarding this money, which means if now he comes and says, I paid in a shmeder and in this and in that, no, that's it. You have to pay seta and loy, no other way. We're done with you regarding this case. And the Gemara brings a story, very funny, not funny, interesting. Kiha de Shabtai, Brei de Rabbi Marinus. This Shabtai was a son of a rabbi, Rabbi Marinus, and his name was Shabtai. Okay, what did Shabtai, the son of the rabbi, do? Kosav lo lekalose, he wrote for his daughter-in-law, Itzta ledemilsa b'ksubosa. The son of Shabse, what happened to him? Mazel Tov gets married. So now the Kala, they gave her the Chosen's family. They said part of your ksuba is you're going to get a nice like silk garment. You're going to get a nice silk shawl, nice silk garment, and that would be your part of the ksuba, either during the marriage or maybe if he divorces you, you're going to get the fancy, nice garment. The kiblo alei, he accepted it upon himself, even though he was the father. In other words, he, Shabsa, the father of the Chosan, the father-in-law of Miss Garment Receiver, soon to be Mrs. Garment Recipient, he said, it's on me, Alai, it's on my shoulders, it's my achrayas, I'm achroi that my son will give you the garment. Irkas ksuba also, the ksuba got lost, and then according to some versions, they had a whole court case, they went to Rabchia, as we'll see later, and now she claims, maybe they got divorced or maybe not. At some point, she says, where's my garment? I want it. Now the ksuba got lost. So in the ksuba, it was written, you are owed the garment, like an extra thing of the ksuba. But the ksuba is lost. The ksuba is now in, I don't know, in the sewage. Omar, lo dvar me'olam. He lied. He said, no, I never ever promised you any garments. And I never told you I'm going to give you a silk dress. Also Saadi, now Edim came and said, son of a rabbi, the Omri in, yes, Kosovlo, he did write to her. We were at the Chasana, we saw as Adim that he wrote to her that he owes her the garment. L'soif omer lehu platia. So then Shabsa saw that the wind is blowing not in his direction. So say, I gave it to her already. I gave her already the garment. Yeah, she has it. She's just hiding it. She wants another one. Also, they came to Rabbi Chia the Dayan to decide what to do. The daughter-in-law against her father-in-law. Yeah, it's a daughter-in-law suing her father-in-law. Omer lei, so told Shabse, Rabbi Chia told him, regarding this itztala, regarding this fancy garment, you consider the liar. And therefore, we don't believe you that you paid her. Had you not lied, mamish, or if there were no edim, then you're believed. But over here, you're not believed. Yeah, unless you pay be'edim. You didn't pay be'edim. You didn't pay be'edim, right? And therefore, she will take the garment because her edim will support. Here we're going back to the original case, similar to the original case. When I say original, I mean to say the Sunday, I call it, it's in my mind, Sunday, Tuesday, Thursday case. Remember, it's Thursday, yeah? On Sunday, Beis Din decided to one level or another, right? That what? That Mr. Accused Shimon has to pay. On Thursday, says, yeah, of course I paid you. On Sunday, I was a bad boy. But on Tuesday, I went to Muster Shmooze, and then I paid you the money on Tuesday. Now it's Thursday. It's been paid already. You're the one lying. You're the one who's trying to take extra. And I paid you without edim. Is it believed or not believed? Well, what did we say? Depends. Depends if it's seten loy or chayva talitan loy. So now, another statement on a similar idea. Now, this is very interesting. I'm translating into English, not with very good English, but on purpose. He owes his friend shvua. Yes, that's why I'm saying it. Just like you owe your friend money, means take from your pocket or bank account 1,000 and give him. You owe him shvua. What do you mean owe shvua? Sometimes Beis Din told someone who the nitba, the accused, you have to take shvua. Why would that happen? Maybe he was moed b'miktzas, right? Maybe there was one aid against him. Maybe it's a shomer. Maybe it was the rabbanon. Many times Beis Din say you have to take shvua, and if you take shvua, you'll be off the hook. You claim you don't owe your friend money. There's one aid against you. Take a shvua, and that you really don't owe him. Prove yourself with a shvua, and then it'll be off the hook, and life will be wonderful, and they'll live happily ever after. And now the court case ended. Yeah, the Denier said, Shimon chayv teruven shvua. Gebel. Now we're going for a tea break. Israeli. Yeah. And that was the end of the court case, and the court case will continue in a month's time. Meanwhile, it's Thursday, yeah, and he says, where's your shvua? You didn't give him money, nor shvua. Based on Paskan, you have to be nishba, and he never did. That's his claim. You owe me the shvua. Give me the shvua. Be nishba that you really potter. Why are you dodging away? Because you know you're a liar. Why weren't you nishba like Beis Din told you? The Omar nishbati v'kayema. He says already swore on Tuesday. Don't you remember? Amnesia. Go to the psychiatrist. Of course, on Sunday they told me to be nishba. I didn't have time right away. On Tuesday I was nishba already, which means I'm potter. I'm off the hook. The Adi made the moister shalom nishba. Back to Rashi's chat. The Adi made that on Sunday it wasn't just a tea break. On Sunday you refused to be nishba. Beis Din told him be nishba, and he went like. On Sunday, very similar to the original case. Very similar. No question. Yeah, very similar to the original case, but instead of money, it's shvua. On Sunday, he was not nishba, although Beis Din told him, and it sounded quite, in your face. And then all of a sudden, he's telling me that on Tuesday he was nishba. It doesn't work, mister. He's kafran to this shvua, which means since what? Since on Sunday you were playing it hard in Beis Din, we don't believe you. You so quickly changed your skin, and all of a sudden, now you say, of course on Tuesday was nish, but really? What happened to you all of a sudden? And therefore, you're not believed to say kafir and lois shvua. And therefore, what will we do? Well, either the other guy will take shvua. Who's the other guy? The plaintiff will be nishba and take the money. That's the best solution to make it simple. 1 minute, please. I appreciate your patience. Working on your midas. Everyone here is working on their midas. Amrua kameda biabo. They said that statement to Rabbi Abohu, which means this is, by the way, these are all, you notice, these are all Israeli Amorim, yeah? Rabbi Abohu, Rabbi Lo, Rabbi Yochanan, all in Eretz Yisrael. Comes Rabbi Abohu, they told Rabbi Abohu what I just told you now, yeah? Nishba, he says, I swore later, we don't believe him, you didn't change your skin. First wide line. Yudzayin Amud Aleph. Omar Lehu, he told them, I agree with Rabbi Abin halfway. Mistaber Mills said Rabbi Abin shnischav shvua beBeis Din. I believe that this is so if Beis Din were mechayiv shvua and he refused to be nishba, he's going now at loggerheads against Beis Din. Beis Din were mechayiv in shvua, and he says, no, or maybe he was British, he said maybe later, but Lamais it wasn't nishba when Beis Din told him to. That means he's against Beis Din. We don't believe him all of a sudden he was nishba later. Aval chiyav atzmoi shvua. What happens if a person volunteers to make shvua? Let's say there's the case which midoraisa doesn't have to take shvua, whatever the case may be, but he's voluntarily saying, you don't believe me? Yishbayecha, like Israelis say it all the time. It's also to say, yeah, but this guy is serious. He says, I'll make a shvua. On Sunday, he says, I initiate myself. I volunteer to make a shvua to prove myself being right, and he didn't yet do it. He promised he'll be nishba. You want him to be nishba, because you know that he's generally a Rosh Hashanah person, and he's not going to do shvua sheker. So if he'll be nishba, you'll be really calm and happy. Now, why isn't he nishba? But he volunteered to make the shvua. Then Ne'eman, then he's believed. Again, same story. On Sunday, he promised in Beis Din, but it was his promise, his initiative, not something by Beis Din. I promise you I'll be nishba. I'll give you shvua that I don't owe you the money. Comes Thursday, excuse me, mister, a whole week passed. It's almost Shabbos. Where's your shvua? He says, what are you talking about? I was nishba to you on Tuesday. Then we believe him he was nishba, even though on Sunday it didn't. So what do you mean to? To the tovea, obviously, to the plaintiff. Why is he believed? Ovid inish, sometimes it is likely for people, the mikri ve'omar. Sometimes people, because it was his own initiative, he believes like he's a balabais over the shvua. I don't have to do what Beis Din told me, right? In other words, I'll do it myself, which means it's not considered that it's a sarvan. Explains Rashi. When the person refuses Beis Din, when the person refuses and say, Beis Din says, you have to be nish because we told you so, because the Torah told you. And he goes like, no, he's not nishba. Then he's a salvan, he's a chutzpan, he's a mechutzef. So he's not believed to all of a sudden on Tuesday be nishba. You change your skin? Maybe. I don't believe you. But she'en ken, if he initiated it, then he feels he's the owner over the shvua. And he says, I'll push it for later. And maybe he really pushed it for later. It was Nishman Tuesday. He's believed that he pushed it because he believes to be the one in charge. If I volunteer, I'll volunteer with my terms. Nobody can force me to volunteer. I volunteer to be Nishba. Maybe Anechanami, he pushed it 2 days later, or 4 days later, or months later, and it was Nishba later on, and he's believed. Itmanami, thank you very much for your patience. This is how Rabbi Abahu limited, sort of, qualified the words of Rabbi Abin. Rabbi Abin, yeah. Adwa kamed Rabbi Abin. Line starts with Rabbi Abin. They told Rabbi Abin what Rabbi Abahu said about his statement, that his statement is only halfway true, meaning it's only true that we don't believe him if he faced Beis Din, he was audacious to Beis Din. Omalu, and he told them, I know nobody's fighting. I know nami Beis Din amri. Enochinami. When I said what I said, I meant Beis Din. I agree with my colleague Rabbi Abahu. Rabbi Abin and Rabbi Abahu both agree that it's only true to say that he's not Naaman when he refused Beis Din in the face and was mechutzefnike. Then he's not believed all of a sudden to say the later was nishba. But if it was his own initiative, my life, my rules. I saw a sticker in a car. I was pondering it on Shabbos, my life, my rules. It's very interesting. Yeah, my shvua, my rules. I won't be nishban Beis Din. I'll be nishban in the comfort of my house to you on Tuesday. Itmanami, another member that proves what we said, and then we can open our mouth for questions. Itmanami, Omer Rabbi Abin, Omer Rabbi Lo, Omer Rabbi Yochanan, exactly the same names. Rabbi Abin, Rabbi Lo, Rabbi Yochanan. Oichayv lechaver shvua beBeis Din. A person was chayv shvua beBeis Din through Beis Din, and Beis Din are the ones who looked at him with angry faces and said, "You are chayv shvua because we told you to be nishba." Be'omer nishpati. Later on Thursday, he said that although on Sunday he refused, on Tuesday he was nishba. The Eidim made that on Sunday he was not nishba. For that shvua, that's dark. You're not believed to say that you took a shvua. Now the other person will take a shvua, and that's about it. Now we have to continue. Okay. Time for questions, but not a lot of time. That's the last round of questions before we enter When we say he's not believed that he was nishba. But if he'll now take shvua, he will be believed. If he'll now take shvua in Beis Din on Thursday, or at least in front of Eidim, then he will be believed. He's not completely. I was wrong in a way. If I said he's complete dead duck, dead meat, dead something, not necessarily so. It's a chiddush, but that's what Rashi believes. It's all controversy. And they're showing it. Rashi, huchzekafran lois shvua, loimer nishbati, is not believed to say, I swore on Tuesday I'm a changed man. Ad shishava befanenu. He may swear in front of us. Why? Because he wasn't nishba l'sheker. A person who's nishba l'sheker is not believed. Bear in mind, this guy, he was not nishba l'sheker. He is actually trying to avoid being nishba, which means he cares about shvua. He doesn't want to lie b'shvua. He's Yireh Shamayim enough to know that the world shook when Hashem said, therefore, we make him take a shvua now in front of Beis. If not, he'll have to pay avada, and then a draft, and then everything. Okay.
So if another agrees, if he says that he did take it.
Exactly. He says he took shvua. He lied about taking shvua, but he wasn't lying b'shvua. He wasn't Ishmael Sheker. No, if he says, if he wants to take shvua now in front of Beis Din and the Dayanim, it's good. On Thursdays, there's a lot of people there. Thursday it's either in Beis Din or in front of Dayanim. Then if he's taking shvua now, Givaldi. But if not, then he's dead man. Then all his money will be taken. Line starts with the word asi. Says Abasi Amar B'Yochanan, back to the pool. Back to where? Back to the story of the star. You found a star in the street. Okay. Rabbi Yeli, the very, very, very V'chosh B'Tom Chochem, like the Rosh Hashiva of Denier almost, he said, the sugya of finding a star in the street is one of the hardest sugyas in Shas. You guys, you have it easy. This one is really not the hard part. Oh, yeah. Achi. Yeah. Yeah. Hamoitze star choiv b'shuk. Remember what Rabbi Yochanan said yesterday? If you find a star choiv in the shuk, and the loiva claims I paid already, and the malva says he didn't pay, we don't give it to the malva. Says Rabbi Yochanan, chashin on the piroin. Says Rabbi Yochanan, we're concerned maybe it fell from the shlemazel the loiva, right? Now it will be in the hands of the malva, he'll charge double. That was generally Rabbi Yochanan. Here Rabbi Yochanan himself is talking with an exception to his rule, a separate case. Because of boy handpick. Handpick means approval of Beis Din, stempel. What does it mean, handpick? And therefore we know that there was alva. We know there was a loan. Because of boy zmanoi boy bayoim. That's the unique case, which will be our case till the end of the Amud. What happens if, what's the date today? Ches Elul, Bush, I don't know the date. The date today is Yud Elul. Yud Elul, oy vavoy, already 10 days of Elul passed. Where are we holding? You find a street, now you go out of Shir, yeah, and you see a star that's lost. You find it in the train station in Bet Shemesh, and it says Yud Elul, fresh off the press. It's a star that is written today and already was lost. Yechzir lebailim. That star should be given back to the bailim, meaning the malve. Why? Mishu, he tells you why. As we said, why shouldn't we give a star to the malve? Either because of before or because of after. If you consider of before that the star, there was no halva, the loiva wrote the star but never actually used it. It fell from his pocket before anything happened. That cannot be. Why can't it be a kosev by handpick? A star with a handpick, Beis Din don't give stempelach of badatz to star unless they know that there was an actual loan. So mitzad the before, there's no issue. Imishim piroin. What about maybe the star was already paid back, and the star that was paid back now fell from the loive. Maybe it was paid back the money. The malvi gave the loive the star back, and it fell from him. That's too quick. We're not choishes, we're not concerned that the person borrowed the money 9 o'clock in the morning, $1 million, when he gave it back 1 o'clock and he managed to lose it. Very unlikely that people pay back a loan within the same day of the actual loan. Usually people take loans for more than 1 day. Sometimes the Gemara will say later, and you guys can be smart with me and say, no, maybe he wants a bridge loan of 1 day until the money comes. Not very common. It's not a common thing. It can happen. Not likely enough for us to be concerned. Lo shchiach. Jeff has the right words always. Omer le Rabbi Zeir Rabbi Asi. Rabbi Zeir is now claiming against Rabbi Asi, who quoted Rabbi Yochanan. Rabbi Yochanan Achi. Are you sure Rabbi Yochanan really said that what? That a shtar milve would never be paid on the same day? Milve would not be paid the same day? Ha'atu de Omar, you are the one who told us something else, Mishmei Rabbi Yochanan. Let's look at this very, very interesting other statement, and then we'll connect everything together. Today, we live in a world of recycling. In some countries, if you don't recycle, 500 euros knas, yeah? Recycling. Can I recycle a shtar? You're laughing. Yeah, in Germany, you don't put the right color in the right garbage bag on the right day. You know, they almost, I don't know what they do, the Germans. Now, what happens? Can you recycle a shtar, my friends? I have a shtar, same friend, same malbe, right? Same amount of money. There was once paid, yeah? Can I reuse the same shtar again for a new loan? Huh? Look at that. Shtar shalova boy upoy. Shimon borrowed from Reuben money, $500. When did he borrow from him? Aleph Kislev. He paid it back on Chafei Kislev. Now he says, I need another loan. Let's use the same shtar. Uh-oh. You cannot reuse the same shtar from an old loan on a new loan, even if it's the same conditions, same money, same everything, same people, same. You cannot do it. Expiry date. The shibud, what's the difference between milva b'shtar and milva b'alpeh? Practically, the other people collect from the lekuchos. Beautiful. Milva b'alpeh, you can't collect from lekuchos. There's no call. Milva b'shtar, you can. Milva b'shtar that was once used and actualized and finished its job, was paid, expired. So even though it's the same words, because the shibud would not automatically restart, the chasima of the edim, which is the most important thing, was signed on shibud number 1. Shibud number 2 is not there. It's an empty paper, which is like an edus, is like writing a secular thing. It doesn't have that magic koach of ede chasima b'shtar to really be mishabed and nechosim. And since it's really like a milva bal peh with a protocol, a reused shtar, you know what it's like? It's like milva bal peh with edus, with the protocol of Tim McKenzie. It's not a real koach shtar, the shibud. Therefore, if you use the shtar again for the second loan and you go to the lekuchos of the other person, you're a liar. And therefore, the shtar is puzzle. You have to tear it and write a new shtar. Don't be a miser. Amos. That's all very nice. When did the milva finish? What exactly happened? If you were to tell me it's for today or tomorrow in 2 days' time, what was my story? I said, Aleph Kislev he borrowed, Chafei Kislev he borrowed again. Wait a minute. If I borrow, you tell me, all of you, if I borrow in Chafei Kislev and I use a shtar from Aleph Kislev, sounds like shtar what? Sounds good to you? Sounds nice to you, rabbis? You agree? Dayoni Mumchim. It's shtar mukdam. Says the Gemara, if the milva was even 1 day later, the second milva, if he borrowed, returned, and tomorrow he wants to use the old shtar of yesterday on a new loan, what do you care about this whole new concept of recycling a shtar? Cool. Excuse me, Rabbi. It's a shtar mukdam. Forget about expiry and all this lomdus. It's just a foolish shtar mukdam. Yeah, but none. Very, very famous Mishnah in Shvis and all over Shas. Shtar chov mukdam in psulin. Every child knows. Shtar chov mukdam is puzzle. So what are you telling me about recycling the shtar because it's this and that? It's simply shtar mukdam. You are borrowing an Aleph Tevis, using a shtar from Aleph Kislev is just a lowly shtar mukdam. So you don't have a new case here. You don't have a chiddush. El alav must be. What was the case of the recycled shtar, which is wrong? The Yomi, must be the same date, which means 9 o'clock in the morning there was a loan, was paid the same date, and then you say, hey, Reuven and Shimon say to each other, let's borrow money again, I'll borrow from you again, and it's not a shtar mukdam because it's the same date, and in shtar you don't care about hours. That's halacha in many places. No, so, alma, that is to say, pari in shiva yomi. So you see, people do pay back the same day. That's exactly the case. We have a shtar, 2 loans the same day, borrowed, returned, and wants to borrow again on the same date, and it's not a shtar mukdam, it's a good shtar. You cannot do it only because you can't recycle the shtar. Ha ha ha! So you see that there is a Metzia of somebody giving back the money on the same day. Amarle, the answer is what I told you guys before, and Jeffrey said, Nika amina de lo pari kral. Did I ever tell you that people never ever pay on the same day? Sometimes they do. A person somebody needs money very much for one day, right? He's stressed for the mashkanta going out, the credit card bill coming out, so one day he wants to take a loan. Ela lav, yeah, I said the shchichi into the par kamina. He said shchichi. All we said was it's not common enough to make a takana not to return to the malva. Of course, such things may happen, and that's why it's written regarding the recycling. So you should know not to do it. If you happen to be a very quick returner, yeah, and you return it the same day, you should know can't use the shtar again the same day because the shtar is expired. But when you talk about a person who found a 1 day old shtar or 0 day old shtar in the street, of course we have to tell him that it's not common that it happened. And therefore, because we go with statistics in halacha, very, very, very likely, yeah, that he was not paid on the very same day back. Maybe can give it to the malve. Give it to the malve, being 90% sure, and 90% is good enough for us that he wasn't paid, and the malve is the legal owner of the shtar. Very nice. What? We don't completely reverse it. No. What did we reverse? No. We didn't. Now it's a good place to stop. No, we did not reverse anything. We said what we said before was that it's not likely that people pay on the same day. And therefore, if you found a shtar in Madison Square, I don't know where you found it somewhere, you may give it to the malve because it's not likely that the malve already was paid, right, and gave back the shtar to the loiva. It's very unlikely. It's so very unlikely the malve. You're telling me stories from the other sugya of a recycled shtar? That's not a question. That sugya spoke about the rare case. If the rare case happened, then we have to do so and so. Very good. The Gemara talks about a baby with 2 heads. When was the last time you saw one? We're not choshish to generally. If it happens, Allah deals with it. That's what's happening here. Shkoyach, we're holding in Rav Kahana. Remember, for tomorrow, Rav Kahana is where we're holding. Yudzayin with Aleph towards the bottom of the page. Thank you very much. Atzlocha Rabba. B'chol Tuv.